Jana Schopp. Many of you around here may know us as Jana and Jana's husband. We've been members here at St. Patrick for the past 33 years. The first few years, we flew under the radar, but then someone asked Jana to help out with a small task, and the rest is history.
I grew up in a small Mennonite church where everyone knew you and most of your business. My parents modeled what it was to be a servant leader within the church community. Rusty's a cradle Catholic. His family was at Mass every Sunday. So when we married 40 years ago, we joined a large Catholic church here in town, and I immediately wanted to get involved. Rusty, not so much. Isn't attending on Sunday just enough? Well, I just didn't know where to get involved or how to do it. I know that sounds ridiculous now, but I was young, I was new to the faith, and I felt somewhat intimidated. Rusty kept saying, well, when we have children, it will be easier to get involved through their activities. Then we had our first child, Eric, who was born with congenital heart disease. He was immunocompromised and unable to attend church due to all of his health concerns.
At that time, we felt very abandoned by our church, which was not that parish's fault. How would they even know what was happening? They didn't know us from Adam and Eve. It wasn't like our small church communities growing up, where whether you wanted it or not, the members would have been all over us, helping, providing meals, praying. And we were too exhausted and wrapped up in our own son's medical crisis to even think about reaching out to the church.
After 3 years of this, I was ready to leave the Catholic Church. I was tired of going to church alone, to one Mass, Rusty go to another Mass because we couldn't bring Eric with us. But Rusty convinced me, let's try another parish in town, and so we ended up here at St. Patrick's. At that time, our worship space was what is now the Shamrock Hall, with a congregation that was growing along with the east side of town, and lots of young families and lots of energy, which is still pretty true today. Just a few months after we joined, our son passed away from complications. But one of the things that remains so close in my heart is that every time we had a Mass said for Eric, and there were quite a few in those first few years, our priest would always make a point to reach out to us at that Mass and say something to us. A few years later, we had our daughter Maggie, and I finally decided I'd come out from under the radar and attend a mom's group here at St. Patrick. That was the beginning of community for me. It sounds so simple, but when a woman from the group would see me at church and say hello, it made me feel like I belong. And then when one of the women asked if I would be in charge of snacks for the kids, that means bringing Cheerios and juice, that's it. You would have thought she asked me to be the queen of the prom.
That was the turning point for our involvement. And no, not just Jana, because somehow I often got wrangled in as well. But the blessings have been many. That small ask from another volunteer has led to involvement in multiple ministries for Jana as both a volunteer and a staff member. Father Jerry finally decided to put her on staff since she was hanging around all the time anyway. The important takeaway from all this is twofold. As a parishioner who is already involved and connected, reach out to someone you perhaps don't know well or at all, and invite them to get involved in something here at church. It can be as simple as providing snacks or attending a study. And for those who are new to the parish or perhaps not involved outside of attending Mass weekly, reach out to see how you can help or attend a church event. Church is many people bringing witness to God's love by their actions. And we have also discovered you will get out of church exactly what you put into it.
10 years ago, we asked everyone in attendance one weekend at all the Masses, adults and kids, to write down 2 to 3 words that they would use to describe St. Patrick's. Out of the 1,300 plus responses, the top 5 were big, but family, friendship, welcoming, and community. Our hope and prayer for each of you is that you also experience that sense of community, of family, of belonging here at St. Patrick's. Thank you.